were dangling over the edge, trying to keep a bride from flinging herself into the grave of hands that rises from the black depths of this strange sea that exists in the twilight between the living and the dead. This ocean upon which the Cotton-Eyed Joe sailed. I believe it was Ice Peak that went over and someone else was trying to grab her.
Both me and Mikey were trying to keep her from. Yeah.
Okay, one of you is going to have to be the one to grab the bride, and the other one's going to have to be the one to grab your friend. So, who wants to be the one to grab the bride?
I'll grab the bride.
Okay, I speak. Give me a power roll. Gets a passive difficulty of 3.
Oh no.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, you nail it.
Ooh.
So the combination of all your eels kind of combining their strength into this very tightly coordinated chain of muscles as they normally take the form of. Yeah, and the adrenaline. The reason why it's a power roll is because as you grab hold of her, one of the hands reaches up and grabs at her veil, beginning to pull her down. This great, almost, it looks like a chiseled, it looks like it's chiseled out of smoky stone, this arm, this bicep, as it's trying to drag her down. She doesn't seem to be putting up much of a fight. The despair in her face, all too real. Mikey, go ahead and give me a power roll as well. Same passive difficulty of 3. To 3, you're able to keep Ice Peak from being pulled down further, but right now the both of you are struggling against what is just one arm. You are both merfolk, and your combined strength really should be enough to overpower most things, but in this case, this one arm is strong enough to keep hold and play tug of war with this bride, this poor soul who got too close to the hands. You have, we'll say, a split second now, Ice Peak, before another hand will emerge and grab hold of her by the shoulder. You have one, we'll say, action to try and prevent that from happening, or maybe get yourself and her to safety. What do you want to do?
Can I pull out my new scalpel and try to cut her veil off?
Okay, but that's going to require a hand. Unless you want to have one of your eels like slither down with a scalpel in mouth.
Well, I imagine that I can have my arm move anywhere since I am now a chain of eels wrapped around her, one hand being displaced is not any weirder than anything else.
Okay.
I'm picturing it at least, but
go ahead and give me a precision roll then.
Okay.
With a 5, you are able to slice the veil cleanly and quickly enough with your strange twisting body, this chain of eels, to sever it, and it all just happens just in time because the second hand surges over the first, almost grabs and even tears a small fist of hair away from the bride, not completely sharing the scalp, but taking a chunk of the hair. Just breaks off in the hand because it's so brittle, and they both pull and just tear at this veil before they begin to sink back beneath the waves with at least some bounty for their trouble. Mikey is able to help pull the both of you up until you're back onto the deck of the Cotton-Eyed Joe, where Leroy gives a very small golf clap. Very good. You really did the heroic thing saving this poor, poor girl. Bravo, detectives.
I give him a little bow.
Tell me, Icebeak, how many hands do you have?
Technically none, but these are all eels.
Okay. Well, how many eels do you have?
Not enough for all the ship if you were to order such a thing, so I beg of you that you do not.
I think you must imagine me to be a cruel man of some kind. I would never order all of them to jump overboard. Unless that would be funny. He kind of quirks his mouth in the corner into a small smirk. It might be a little bit.
What sort of dance do you wish of me?
None at all. It's good to see that the heroics don't just extend to the living, the dead are given consideration as well. How thoughtful, noble, even. Good as a quality to have for law enforcement. And we will certainly need those sorts of virtues where we're going. He steeples his fingers together and takes a step backward. I have to admit, I wasn't sure anyone would survive this trip. I thought at least one person might make the mistake of attempting to take my life. But it seems that you have all given consideration to the idea of a pact, which is good. It's classic, I think. Classical things are very fun. Before we arrive at our destination, I think it would be good if we went over the general plan of what it is that we're going to do. Why I would even need any of you at all. Surely you must have thought at some point, what does Leroy need with cops from a small city in Guam? I think that's what makes the plan so special. He starts to walk away while talking still along the deck of the ship where the grooms and brides are all now aligned. You see, the security of the president is aligned into four different actions and quadrants. It's a bit feng shui, you know? Each covering a different aspect of power and a different vector of attack. If one of them falls before the other, even a second, then all of them will be alerted and all security measures will be initiated. In other words, we need to be able to kill four people at the same time, and a special fifth and sixth guest for those kids who are very good and play by the rules. Yes, you're all there. One of them, a master of vision, another, a master of sight, another, a master of energy, and then a master of directions, routes, paths, and maps. All of them alarmed, rung, and wired up. They know when they have to sneeze, when they have to eat, even when they have to take a crap. So we'll have to kill them all at the same time. Or you could just knock them out, I suppose. He kind of just waves his hands through the air. That's really the kind of milquetoast solution. Render them unconscious as long as it's at the right time. I prefer the old, he runs his thumb across his neck, really be done with it method.
You have plenty of followers. It still doesn't really explain exactly why you'd be interested in our help. Not that we're not willing.
Well, that's the thing. I've noticed throughout our many encounters and my many guises that there are certain, how do I say it, unexpected variables that happen to occur around your group. If all of these security measures are trying to cover every single corner, then having a bit of a wild card in my pocket, I think, gives me the advantage against a very well prepared opponent. You see, I'll be honest with you. Main reason I'm even going and not immediately going to be shot on sight as Sonny Fortuna is because this is all a lead up to a public execution. I have it on good word that President Valentine plans to publicly execute Sonny Fortuna. But first, the guys to get him there is an appointment. Minister of Finance and Commerce for the Red Kingdom would be the station to be appointed. So I, as Sonny Fortuna, will be walking into what is a death trap. And I need unexpected cards in my deck. Or I might die. I mean, I don't think it will happen, but who knows? Now, you could just fail in your jobs, assignments, whatever, and let me lose my head. That is a consideration. I strongly urge you not to do that. And I won't say why.
Well, it's not something that we have a pact.
Suppose you do. I'll be on my way to the gallows, and hopefully all of you will be on your way to your assigned seating, where you will deal with your assigned pest with the help of one of my assigned helpers. He motions towards his followers, the four of them gathered. I will lay the plan out rather simply for you. Each of you will get a partner. Each of you will have a target to take out at a precise time. You will be given a watch. The watch keeps precise time. It will click and beep when the time is ready. You will then dispatch of your target. And if all targets are dispatched at the right simultaneous time, then I will be able to kill the president. If there is any slip up, if there is any inconsistency, error, or mistake, it won't just mean my life, of course. It could be the end of all of you. We are going to a place with hundreds of samurai, hundreds of different abilities, not all of which I know. There is mystery, intrigue, and all sorts of excitement on an island. And on a city, and in a continent, a world like this, as you build the size of the land, there's more trees to hide behind. That's why I like forests so much. Lots of places to hide.
Makes sense.
I am glad that you agree. We will have a brief amount of time in Russia. I suggest you do not make trouble before the destined day of, well, the assassination. Before we really get into the details, I do want to know, does anyone have any moral problems with what we're doing? The men that you, well, kill or knock out, I haven't really taken much consideration of who they are as people. They're just obstacles in the way. They could be good fathers, good mothers, teachers, community leaders. I doubt it, but just so we're clear, they're going to be taken out one way or another. And also, so we're clear, if we knock them out and they end up getting the president killed because they failed in their duties, they'll probably also be killed. Not by me, but by their fellow soldiers. You know how the military is, they don't take kindly to failures.
Gonna assume that these are high-level targets.
The highest level possible, I believe. Some of them are considered to be some of the most highly trained security experts in the world. And they've been doing their job excellently. As you can tell, President Valentine is still walking around. Hell, he even engages in his own samurai duels for fun. What a fun guy. Must be real fun at parties.
When do we find out who we're getting partnered up with?
Soon after we land. Don't worry, I'll make sure to consider compatibility, personality, eating habits, conversation, that sort of thing.
Alright.
If there's nothing else, I think I could leave you all to just enjoy the rest of the trip.
What do you think, guys? Anything in mind?
No, no. I mean, I can't really think of anything.
I would like to know if there's a bar on the ship.
Indeed, there is. You can find any old bottle of alcohol you want so long as it's been served at a wedding. I do take favors with me every now and again, as did the last owner of the ship. He motions towards the lower deck. Please help yourself to as much wine as you need to steady your nerves and free your spirit of all obstacles. Once we arrive, there will be no room for it. What did you say?
I'll take you up on it.
Very good. Then please drink. He sort of motions to some of the brides and grooms. Make sure that they have everything that they want. They should be well rested, though. Don't allow them to drink too much. Some of you should exercise discipline. He kind of eyes Lazaro, who is still looking very seasick now from the combination of a hangover and these choppy waves. Italians. Oof. Just kind of walks away, shaking his head. With that, you have now a bar to drink at if you'd like. Lazaro will not be drinking at that bar, but Helena will.
Yeah, Anya's gonna be sitting down to drink. What was this wine?
There are many bottles of alcohol there. The labels say that they are different types of wine, whiskey, bourbon, cider. The bottles are arranged from beginning to end chronologically. So at the left side of the bar are bottles that look like they may be from pre-1500s. They're not labeled with a year. And then after that, you get on to around the 1700s, 1800s or so.
Damn.
All sorts of different liquors and spirits. There are they are all very nice bottles. Some of them are even have like filigree on them. They're or still have the wax seal. And despite their age, they don't look dusty so much. They do have a little bit of dust, but it's more like they're part of a collection, not so much that they're like actually their age. And if you were to try any of these liquors, you would find that to be true. They're practically preserved as if having been frozen in time. The bartender who is serving you is, we'll say, a groom who is wearing a maybe red ascot or a neckerchief compared to the rest, and even has the trademark towel over the shoulder while he cleans a single glass. So whether or not that's something he wants to do or something he's been assigned to do as part of his role as bartender is difficult to say.
Is there canned vodka?
There is no canned vodka. What kind of person does Leroy look like? He wouldn't keep canned vodka on a ship.
Yeah, but there was a
Disgusting.
previous owner of this ship, so I don't know.
The bartender cleans the glass and will take your orders and possibly answer any questions you might have. Though otherwise, he is not too talkative on his own.
You know, there's a good chance that this is a one-way for us, guys.
I mean, I'd like to think we'd get out of it alive. I mean, I'd say we've dealt with worse, but we really haven't.
Maybe
I
all
will-
the... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Maybe everything up to this point was for this, you know?
Blair nods her head, like drags her cigarette and nods, and says, "As long as we just get rid of Reyes."
This is getting rid of the disease itself. The healing afterward will be the more difficult part. I do not think I could do surgery on a boat this wavy, so I must wait till we wait till land.
You know, we are acting in a way to represent merfolk with this decision. I'm not really sure if it's gonna be welcomed or make us look further, well, unwelcomed. We're doing the right thing, right?
Although we are AQUA units, we are not doing this on the orders of merfolk. Avicii is not telling us to, well, I suppose he wouldn't be displeased to murder the president.
Elena lights a cigarette, and then you can hear her laugh dryly. At her own end of the bar, there is a small boy you recognize, Nicholas, who is passed out on the floor with a small bottle of alcohol near him.
Oh.
She just is like laughing, and then you can see her just give Nicholas a light kick. Wake up! Come on, kid. She gives him another kick. This one time a little firmer. He rolls onto his side and starts to throw up. There's the spirit. She kind of starts, she adjusts her nose, and you can hear a small pop when she does, and then she snorts. And she slowly turns around and looks down at your end of the bar. Something wrong?
No, not at all. We were just all feeling a little somber.
About what?
There's plenty of things.
Bullshit. Everything's fine. It's gonna be better, too, once we get this done. I got plans. And they'll go well when this goes well. Even this kid here's got plans. He gives Nicholas another kick.
Do you wish me to put small child to bed?
No? Why? Little bastard deserves it. Do you know what he did to even get here?
He has bombed us before, but...
Yeah, that was after he made a deal. Before that, this little bastard killed his family. In their sleep, too, might I add. Just murdered them all. Only way out of it was a deal with the devil. I wouldn't feel bad for him. She gives him a really firm kick, causing him to actually throw up again.
Why'd he kill his family?
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't even know. It's like he did it in a sleepwalk or a trance type of thing. That's what he says. I don't believe any of that shit. If you've ever spent 5 minutes with this little bastard, you'd know. He's just evil. Just a real rotten little shit all around. And there's no real redeeming him either, which is a lot of people seem to make that mistake because he's a kid. They think, oh, he's just had better parents. Oh, if we just love him and send him to school. His family was nice. Far as I've heard, they were good people. And he just killed them. Just snapped like that. He'll probably be going to hell just like the rest of us. She uncorks an old bottle of wine.
And yourself?
Oh, I killed a lot of people too. She pours herself a glass. I made a deal. Whenever I want, they get to come back to life. And I get to kill them again. She pours herself a glass very slowly, again, a second one. And then you can see a black sheet rise up from the ground next to her. And what looks like a scared, teenager around her age is revealed from beneath it. She casually grabs the second glass and jams it right into their face, and then just quickly starts jabbing them with the stem, and they fall over screaming. It happens very quickly. And once she's done, the black sheet folds over them and they disappear. As long as I do my job, I get to do this as much as I want. And when I'm done and dead, and I'm in hell, I get to do it to them for an eternity, too.
Are those the plans that you were referring to?
They are. Father John's right. Not enough people think about their eternal life, their soul. But I've given it a lot of thought. I really have.
Well, it's not like there's much to go on. What have you thought? Like, do you know anything?
I do, as a matter of fact. I'm not even from this place, this time. None of us are. We've seen the other side. We've seen hell. We saw it all. And we got a deal. We get to come out. We get to do something. And maybe we'll get something out of it. I'm not sure what Nicholas here wants. Hopefully a new haircut. Am I right? She looks around, kind of like waiting for a laugh.
he could stand to use one.
I guess you could say that this ship is like a ship of the damned. Don't know what that makes you guys.
Well, I'd say we were pretty damned with the whole, progeny of Avicii thing hanging over us.
She kind of actually shakes her head. I don't really think it works like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people just revel in this kind of evil shit. Not me, I'm not one of them. I mean, I know it may seem like that, but I'm really a kind soul, I promise. She gives Nicholas another kick. Really, what I think that you guys are is trying to do the right thing, despite the fact that you had a shitty dad, and that's really respectful. That's I can respect that, you know.
Oh, alright.
I was told we still return to him on our death.
I'm not sure. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But it doesn't really matter what happens after you're dead. It's about the world you make while you're alive. That's what determines the afterlife, I think. Some people just kind of want to go to hell, some people don't. So they do everything in this world to make one thing or another happen. Sometimes they think that they're working towards the other end, towards heaven. But they're not. They're just going to hell. Sometimes I think I can just smell it on them, like a rot or like smoke. I don't really smell it on any of you. That makes you feel better. So at least you're not going to that place. As far as Avicii goes, I don't know. It's not really my problem. He could kill everyone for all I care, I guess. Oh, that's not true. That's not true.
You seem like the colorful sort. It's being a crew like this.
Guess I am. There are a lot of people who thought I was pretty colorful. I used to be really popular in high school, actually. And then at college, it was pretty good too. I made a lot of friends. That's what they said, anyway.
Yeah, what is your story?
My story, well, came from a little town somewhere in Ohio. That's in the United States of America. It's back there in the 80s. Well, they invited me to a party because I was new to the campus. And I thought that was great, making friends so quick. Next thing I know, they're trying to get me to do things I don't really want to do, so one by one, I found those friends of mine and I killed them. But I didn't feel like that was good enough, so really wanted to kill him again. When I was in the cell at the institution, they said, I'm never getting out. But then a man appeared and said he'd open the door, but I had to make him a promise. So I did, and here I am. My name's Helena, by the way.
Helena. Oh, nice meeting you. So, what were your plans again?
Torturing a small group of people in hell for an eternity, mostly.
Did you have anything in mind for after the mission?
She just drinks her wine and laughs. Not really.
Do you still go to parties?
Not really. No. No, I don't really do parties anymore. I'm busy with the work. I'm the driver for the Antichrist. chauffeur, I guess.
Huh. You're one of those work to. No, wait. It's live to work types. Everything's just pushing until you get to the point, which is hell.
I guess. To be honest, I would probably do any job just to be able to get what I want. Driving, cleaning up after this little shit. Whatever. I'll sweep the rooms, I'll clean the toilets. I'll use my own toothbrush to do it if I gotta. Doesn't matter. Hell's gonna be far worse than anything here anyway. Might as well get a jump start, right?
No.
Very driven.
You know, there's a certain security that's found in knowing that you're condemned. It's like you don't have to worry anymore. You gotta like fret over things. Morality, ethics, any of that. Any kind of fancy philosophical word or terms used is just meaningless and empty. You just know where you're going. That's it.
Do you not wish to escape it?
No. I think you and I can both agree I deserve to be there, just like the rest of those people. I just want a little bit higher of a seat than the others, that's all. Just a supervisor position or something. Leroy says he can make it happen, and I believe him. I do. I believe what he says. I've seen what he can do. He's magic. Made flesh.
He seems to be. Although, if he gets taken out rather easily, doesn't that take away from the mystique?
Guess we'll find out about that one, huh? As long as you all do your jobs and we do ours, it won't happen. I know I'm gonna do what I'm told, what I'm assigned. You're all trustworthy, right? Good souls, good fighting spirits, that sort of thing.
We need this disruption to this world power to happen. Maybe more than he does. That's the way I see it. But to answer you, yes.
You know what I don't get about you guys? Since the moment you came on this boat, you've been so down and sad and scared and worried. Don't you feel like it's exciting to be here when history's made? We're looking at the end of an era and the beginning of something new and big, like a new chapter in the world. Don't tell me you're scared of that. At least you'll get to see it.
Well, I don't know if any of us in the 20 or less years that we've been around really sat down and considered that we'd be here.
It's a. Oh, sorry.
Looking to take down a sovereign, well, an alliance of sovereign nations that have long since been established. I'm not even. I still have to think about it a little, I guess.
Think about it over a drink. I can recommend one if you want. There's some raspberry liqueur somewhere in there. And something with mint. Old-timey shit. Absinthe. She kind of like nods towards you, I speak.
And I speak does sort of start looking through the bottles a bit. It is very hard for me to get drunk. I have to spread the alcohol out throughout my body, which means everybody must take a very tiny sip.
Well, pour some tiny little glasses and drink up.
Enya is she did order like 3 shots of bourbon.
Sure. Bartender will serve them up to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I could celebrate that maybe this is the most good I can get out of little old me.
Little old you.
Enya's gonna flex a muscle.
Yes,
muscle.
I speak will gently poke the muscle. Yes, very little.
In the large scheme of things, yes, I am little. Though I'd like not to be.
I think in the big scheme of things, you are perhaps the most powerful of our troop.
What the hell does that mean?
I have seen your fighting form.
I think Towner would be pretty upset about that.
Then they will have to, I don't know how to duke it out.
I'm
Have a
sure he'd love
lift
that.
off.
Is Towner here?
Towner is eating old hors d'oeuvres being brought to him on trays, talking about how weird and fucked up it is that these people are serving him. We'll say he's somewhere in the room though, like at a table.
Alright, you know what? I'll take you up on that. And she'll do her 3. She'll drink down her drinks and then go slide over to Towner's table. Hey, I'm challenging you to an arm wrestling match.
All right, roll power. Okay, so you're arm wrestling with Towner. He manages to beat you and smash face first into his plate and the table, taking out a bite from both. But he does win.
Ah. Well, there we have it.
Come back after you eat some gold, kid. He kind of flexes his arm.
Yeah, whatever, you meathead.
I'm doing my best, Towner.
No, it's good.
Anya's gonna sit back down at her spot and get another shot of bourbon. Ah, well, my pride was getting a little too puffy there. He's got some big-ass arms.
You have also weakened yourself by not being in your true form.
I'm plenty dense.
Oh no, I believe you that you are still extremely strong. I simply think that sometimes you restrain yourself, to which I am grateful, but
I'm just gonna re-challenge him.
I did not mean for this to cause a infinite loop of arm wrestling. But if you are having fun, please do.
I just gotta get the right angle, the leverage down. Maybe at the precise, I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Sorry.
We should all probably make plans, by the way. What do we do when we complete this mission? I think I might adopt Ollie. And just gonna be looking past her glass and just staring at the wall.
You will have to fight KLP if you are thinking of doing what I think you are doing.
What are you talking about?
You said you wish to adopt what?
Ollie.
Ollie. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I misheard you. I thought you trailed off. Do you wish to be a mother?
Not at all. But who else is gonna take care of that odd little kid?
Perhaps introduce him to people who wish children? Or the Dolphin Boys.
I don't want him joining the Dolphin Boys.
Why not? They seem very lively.
Those kids barely have any sort of supervision. They're troublemakers. The human side of the station thinks that they're a nuisance.
Are they a nuisance? I find them quite cute.
They're just trying to get by like we all are.
They're just kids. But I don't think Ollie's gonna be able to hang, if that makes any sense.
I speak shrug slightly. That would depend on his nature.
His leisure?
Nature.
Huh. Oh, I won't worry about it now. It was just a thought.
As you guys are kind of like talking and the boat drifts on, it does like rock back and forth. You can actually hear sometimes occasional what sounds like a door knocking sound of a fist just kind of knuckles rapping against the bottom of the boat or one of its sides. You don't really need sleep like people need sleep, but if you were to try to catch some Z's, you'd probably have a little bit of difficulty. Unless, of course, you are Nicholas Pine, who is currently passed out on the floor from the smallest amount of alcohol and dealing with a few bruises from being kicked, or Helena, who has been just drinking at the end of the bar, kind of listening to you guys talk until she just drifted off. Right now, it seems like the ship is fairly quiet and even peaceful. The brides and grooms don't sleep, but they they don't. They just stand there. They're always looming, kind of haunting every corner, more or less. Harlan, if he does drink, he is probably not there at the bar with people.
Are all the AQUA members drinking?
I did say that Blue is not going to be drinking at this time.
Yeah, I don't think Mikey would either.
I am drinking a little bit, but it's probably hard for her to get drunk anyway.
So it's just Anya tearing up.
Yeah. Well, you have to tear up to get drunk at all anyway. The big girl that you are. Should I take a drink to Harlan and the chief? I don't know.
You can if you want. I'll give you the option of Harlan or the chief. One or the other.
I don't think the chief would drink, so Harlan.
Harlan is in his own quarters. He'd probably tell you which one he was taking and tell you not to bother him. But you can bother him anyway. I mean, what are rules? but meant to be broken.
I knock on the door.
Harlan answers very slowly. Yes.
I have brought you wine.
Have you been drinking?
A little.
Go away then.
That's if you wish. But I do have plans to discuss with you at some point.
Yeah. The door opens slowly. Harlan is wearing the usual mask that he wears, so it looks like it was hastily tied in the back. Without his black hood that he usually wears behind it, you can see thickly scarred tissue along the scalp and neck. Come in then.
I'll step in and offer him the bottle of wine.
He picks up the bottle of wine in his hands. I don't tend to drink. It makes me violent.
Is that not the goal of this trip?
He uncorks the bottle, then starts to drink. What do you want then? He has a seat at a small table in his quarters. You can see that there scattered out are different photos of Valentine clan higher-ups. They look like military photos. Some of them are taken from candid shots. Others are from what look like propaganda. Some of them have big red circles around them. Some of them have thinner red circles. Valentine's picture is in there, and he has the thickest red circle possible.
I'll sort of slide over to the pictures and lean over to look at them. Many targets, I see.
As many as you have eels. Hopefully they all die, but I'm not gonna gamble on it. I just need to get one or two, that's it. Then I can shuffle off.
This mortal coil?
That was the implication.
You do know I could assist you some in the general department of healing.
I don't think so. Don't worry about it. There's no reason for you to even be attached, so I don't know why you'd bother. If I die, they'll just replace me with another samurai in the department. No big deal.
That is not the thing the doctor wishes to hear.
Luckily for you, I don't need a doctor then.
I do.
Did you just want to talk about helping me, or is there something else on your mind?
I pick up the picture of Don Reyes, if there is one.
Yeah, there is, definitely.
I'll shake it a little bit. I actually wish to talk to you about this man.
Don Reyes. Sure.
There's a piece of his sword inside of me.
Get in line. Don Reyes has cut a lot of people down. You're just lucky enough to be still walking around.
I intend to pull it out.
Interesting. No one's ever managed.
Well, you have helped me make the sword of which I will use.
You're gonna do surgery on yourself then and get it out of you?
There will be an attempt. I would like you there.
To what? Cut your head off in case you fail?
Well, there are as many heads inside of... Never mind. It is a stand surgery of which I have never done, and you are the only one that I know that can conduct your power through your sword.
He takes another drink of wine and then starts to roll up his sleeves. All right. And he starts to clear off the table, too.
Oh, right. Right now.
Isn't that what the wine's for?
To attend surgery upon me?
I figured I could get. Yeah, that's. Maybe I'm misreading this. You came to my cabin late at night with a bottle of wine talking about sentimentality. But then you talk about surgery and how good I am with a blade. So naturally, what you're looking for here is for me to do surgery on you. And then maybe you tell me where to cut, right?
Training, I suppose.
Training? There's no training for this. Hell, I don't even think that surgery is really the right word for it. It's more like butchery.
It is the first science of its kind, I would suppose. She pauses to frown and consider. I am not sure this has been done before, but I could be wrong.
I don't know, but I guess before I get into the nitty-gritty of my whole vengeance thing, performing a surgery or at least assisting in one is... No, it's not really something that'd be on my list of to-do before I die. I'll be honest with you, it's not even in the top 20.
What is on your list of things?
Killing every single Valentine I meet.
Are they all just names?
That's it, 1 to 20.
I am amused by your simple goals.
I'll let you in on a little secret, I guess, while I'm doing this. Can I see that scalpel?
She looks a little nervous, but she'll peel the scalpel out of her arm and open the case carefully.
Do you hand it to him, the scalpel?
Yes, with the handle out.
He takes it and looks it over. The hatred you feel for Don Reyes is similar to the hatred I feel for the Valentines as a whole. Once upon a time, I was a Valentine myself. I know how they work and how they operate.
Oh, then should I hate you too?
I did say I was gonna kill everyone that I met, right? Do you need anesthetic or what?
I have no idea how much it will hurt when you cut into my stand.
You know, if I didn't have this mask on, you'd probably see that I had a slight smirk on my face when you said you had no idea how much it's gonna hurt.
Well, you have cut me in half before. I am not afraid.
Not quite the same. Besides, that was more of a glancing wound. It's playful, really. He starts to try to look you over to see where the scar is that he's gonna have to cut. Let's see.
I hold up one hand and then I step aside. Well, I slide aside and my stand is there. I assume it will be along the belly.
Oh, I think you have it all wrong. He kind of points to your own stomach. The first thing that you should know about a stand is it's really just a somatic body, something expanded from the consciousness and extension of the self. The root of it is actually within the flesh, but more likely within this permanent form of yours, the indelible thing we leave behind as a ghost, that shell of life. That thing. Your stand is more like a light that comes out of it, but the wound is deep within the core. If you were a spiritualist, you'd say it was in the chakra or something.
That is as good I came to you. I would have simply rooted around in my stand like a blind woman.
You probably would have bled out from a belly wound.
I technically. She pauses to turn her head slightly. I am unsure if. Well, I have never been able to find it inside of my eels.
It's because it isn't there, technically. It's a thing like a phantom. It's haunting you. But located within that form is the metal. Don Reyes' sword breaks off small chunks of itself that it constantly sheds, leaving it in the wounds. But those chunks are like pain. They're ideas, they're forms. They're not metal like you know. Just like my sword isn't metal either. No samurai blade truly is. But once you start to understand how your stand works, you'll get that too. Don't worry. I'm sure it'll come to you over time. You seem pretty smart. Well, he looks at the scalpel, then at the bottle of wine, and then back towards her. On some things.
I am doing my best to observe and learn at a rapid speed, but I am rather young.
Right.
I start to take off my tie.
All right. He closes the door with his foot. Let's do some surgery.
I just like take off my clothes.
Don't make this weird. He holds up the scalpel, which glistens in the light.
I'm standing there like naked and then sit on his table. Is it not already? I'm constantly being accused of being weird. You must be more specific.
Okay. Well, he's gonna start doing surgery. He pretty much with the scalpel and a blade. He is like he didn't say he was a doctor, but he has surgical precision. He's a samurai and a very good one. So as he's like operating on you, give me a durability roll.
Oh no.
You take 4 mental stress
Okay.
from the blade beginning to resonate within like that wound within your belly and like that just the core. It doesn't matter how many eels you have or how it's spread out, like that pain is like it's like spiritual pain. It's not just like physical pain. It's like something really agonizing once he starts to cut near it. And that blade is only going that pain is only going to intensify. So right now you have let's see, you have a mild condition, which is you were starting to, how do I say it? Because you're getting it's a little bit of hysterics, like you're losing your cool, your demeanor. Um, do you scream at all?
I speaks pretty quiet, but she is losing a lot of her form, which means like eels are falling off onto the floor. Kind of like the place where he's cutting is turning more into eels and less into human. Like he's squirming, basically.
Yeah. Okay. I'll say Mikey. Mikey.
Yep.
As you were maybe going to like check in on something or walking down a certain part of the boat, you just hear Ice Peak scream from a room, like a scream kind of. It's very very easily, you could easily read that as Ice Peak's voice. Yeah, it's like you're very observant and you have very high gaze level.
Yeah, and I probably also haven't heard her scream a lot, so I go.
Yes.
Yeah, I go running towards the choir of eel screams.
There is a closed door in the way. What do you do?
I'm a merman. No, there isn't. I just
you
go
just
through
smash
it.
through it?
Yeah, I mean, he probably checks the lock first, and then we'll go through, just so he,
Okay, then as you break through the door, you see Ice Peak's clothes scattered around. Harlan raising a red scalpel and Ice Peak kind of writhing around on a bed. And there's probably blood from the wound, the surgery wound.
I was gonna say, yeah, the optics aren't great.
No, they're not.
No. I'm trying to remember if Mikey, because obviously I know about the scalpel and Ice Peak wanting to create it, but I'm trying to remember if Mikey knows anything about it. Because I feel like something had to have been brought up about it, right?
I did mention surgery on myself, but Harlan helping did not come up.
You hear Harlan say, "Hold still, stop screaming. Somebody's gonna hear you. I have to finish this before people get here and interrupt me. So just hold still, or my blade's gonna slip while I'm trying to cut you. You said you were tough. Can't you handle this?"
Do you need help?
Harlan turns around with the blade pointed outward. What?
Yeah, and I mean, Mikey's like in a semi-defensive stance. Like he's not like ready to go at Harlan, but like he just wants to get a feel of what's going on. He just goes,
Do you need help? I guess this is for either of you.
You've seen too much. He starts to slowly walk towards you with the scalpel. Just come here for a second.
Harlan, I can help you, but I need to just know what's going on. I know Ice Peak made a scalpel, and that sure looks like one. So...
It's not what it looks like. I'm just doing a little surgery, bud. Why don't you just come in and help me? He takes another step forward.
Yeah, Mikey will probably like move a foot, like one of his feet slightly back, and he'll just go,
I can do that. I just need to know what...
When you take a step
what are we
backwards, doing? He's gone. Like he's just vanished from sight.
Oh no.
And as you like say, "What are you doing?" you step backwards into Harlan. I told you, you've seen too much, and now I have to take care of this. And he just slowly starts menacing you forward into the room with the scalpel in hand. Get ready, because this is gonna get real bloody real fast.
No, I mean, I can help with that. Here, let me in...
At this point, Mikey will probably close the gap between him and Ice Peak and like go to their side, depending on how, I guess, solid she is and how much eel she is, and just go,
Hey, do you need help with all of this? You're kind of doing a major surgery on yourself in a boat.
Like, the middle part of her body is just eels now. Her legs are kind of like falling off one side of the table, and her face sort of just turns to him like dead-eyed for a moment. Like, Delacruz.
Okay. I mean, I can help. I can...
Please close the door.
Yeah, Mikey would probably look back if he didn't take the door off the hinge, like he put a hole through like the doorknob or something. Like he just punched the doorknob through just to get in. So there, like the door will close. It's not gonna stay closed.
Yeah, I could, I'll work on that. You, I guess, do this. Yeah, okay.
Harlan holds
Yeah,
up the blade.
Mikey will slowly, use his like slime goop to like kind of stick the door back into a shut position.
Now I have an assistant. Now I can do some real surgery.
It just okay. I mean, I can help. You needed to hold her. I can. She's not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this, Ice Peak. And you, like Ice Peak, if you're laying down, you can see he's standing above you, and his hands are just like they're viscous. And he's just like, it'll keep you steady, but I know how much you don't like this.
Are you going to make a mess, Delacruz?
I mean, it's not gonna be. It sticks, so it'll just be you and the table.
It is not my morgue. It is fine.
All right, well, you heard the lady, and he'll like slide his hands under her back, and like it looks like he's trying to prop her up, but he like, I guess Ice Peak, you would just feel his hands, and then you would just stick to the table. And he does that, and he does that to your upper half, and then he goes around and starts basically trying to hold your legs back in place before they just kind of like slump off the table. He's just trying to keep you in as much in one piece as possible.
If it is not too much, your eyes are quite good.
Oh yeah, no. What do I need to look for? What are we removing?
A tiny piece of sword.
A tiny piece of sword. Okay. I guess Harlan, that's what you're looking for.
That he taps the scalpel against his own mask is the mistake many people make when they try to remove this thing. It's not a tiny piece of sword at all.
Okay.
He like, you can see he's like basically moving towards her with the scalpel. What do you see in the wound, De La Cruz?
Okay, yeah, no, this'll be super easy. Just examining a wound. I do that all the time. And he'll probably get as close as he can, without like just dipping his head into her open like abdomen, and just like all eyes forward, start looking around.
When you look in there, you see what looks like a hand, a very, very tiny hand, and an arm reaching up. Careful. That's it. He kind of points towards the wound and the glinting metal. Give me a gaze roll, Mikey. Against pass difficulty of 4. All right. Well, you can still see it, but it's hard to exactly pin down the precise locate. This thing is about the size of a keychain ornament. It is a tiny arm just emerging from the flesh. It's like a figurine almost. That is the magnetic core it's left behind. It's not a shard per se. It changes over time. He starts to make a small incision with the scalpel, although without the precise gaze roll, he might have a little difficulty. No, he does okay. So you can see him cutting away from some of the flesh. And when he does, you can actually hear screams, just tiny, but they sound like the screams of a child and other people. So it's like mainly the screams of a young child, and then screams of adults, and even a small fire burning sound. The moment the scar is left on the victim is sealed within the wound itself. The magneticism draws to the blade that left the trauma. So in a way, this is both a psychic and a conventional surgery. Performing normal surgery on a wound like this to try and remove the scar doesn't quite cut it. Because as you'll soon find out, he begins to cut around it, and you see that there is almost like a diorama made of metal. The magnets within the wound, the shards, actually attract other metals within the blood towards a center spiritual core. That's what makes the scar so devastating, and trying to pull it out can practically kill you, and has many times. He's just slowly carving this metal out of the flesh. It's very delicate work, but his hand is very, very steady. I speak. I'm going to need you to tell me when you can feel something pricking you. Go ahead and give me a precision roll on Ice Peak.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think I should maybe re-roll that.
Sure. Fate point it.
I will fate point that I am an unorthodox eccentric doctor, and I have experimented on myself before. Oh, slightly better.
The two, you can sort of feel as he's cutting that it goes from being sort of numb to very painful very quickly. You take 2 physical stress from kind of like missing the mark a little on telling him where to stop cutting, or telling him where you can feel the pain.
Yes, there, right there.
Once he finishes that cut, Mikey, give me another gaze roll. Ooh. Well, you're shooting for a 4. Do you want to re-roll it, or do you want to just let it? Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm gonna re-roll. That's no good.
Damn. Head on. You can see that Harlan is about to probably cut into something vital with his blade, and you can stop him from doing that, or let him know before he does.
Yeah, he would just go, "That's vital.
Mhm.
You can stop."
Most of the time, that's what I'm aiming for. He slowly turns his masked face towards you. That was a joke.
No, I mean, yeah. Do you need, I mean, don't take this rude or the wrong way. Do you want help with this? I mean, I can get in there.
If you're trying to imply you're better with a blade than me,
No,
then
you still hold the blade. I can just hang on, and he'll kind of cock his head to the side, as the coral steel kind of sprouts in between his neck and shoulder, and a little traveler will blossom out and essentially just hang there on the branch, ready.
when you do that, he actually has his sword out, like his real sword out. What the hell is that?
Oh, this is travelers.
What?
We all have stats.
Yeah, I
All
don't
of
know how else to explain it.
you all have stands. I thought it was just her. Fine.
I am not unique.
But my
No.
question is, what's with the coral steel?
Oh, that's just how the tree is, I guess. It's just how it is. It looks.
Okay. What does it do?
Oh, it just kind of plants itself into uh objects and things and lets me kind of see a little bit better in and through them. So I could drop it into Ice Peak. I don't know what that'll do to your insides though. But I mean, and he kind of just looks at this bloody half person and just can't get worse.
Fine. 1 second. He lifts his mask slightly and then takes a drink from the bottle of wine. Okay, do it.
Okay.
And yeah, travelers will just kind of just fall off the branch and just start spinning, spiraling down as it goes into Ice Peak.
All right. So go ahead and give me a precision roll. Difficulty of 3, but I mean, you still are doing it. But if you want to succeed with a complication, then you can let it ride on a 2, or you can fate point it.
Yeah, I'll fate point it. I don't want Ice Peak's insides getting shredded.
Okay. What do you invoke?
I will invoke. I'll invoke being an Ice Scout. I can see. I mean, I watch tiny little civilizations rise and fall on my fingertips. I think I can drop my stand into her body without fucking it up.
Well, this is a little this is a strange situation because with travelers, what you're trying to basically what you're attempting to do here is to get like a very good look into the body so that you can know where the cutting needs to be done. So you do that. Um, and then with Harlan's own like precision, he can remove the rest of this thing. When he does take it out, does travelers like I guess travelers could technically assist with that by turning
Yeah,
it, like
I was
pushing
gonna
it. But
say, yeah, if it can either spin not the non-metal fragment like away, like kind of push stuff away so it's easy for him to cut it out, or push stuff back in to make it a smaller piece for him to to remove. Either or, he can do that.
well, as he's removing it, you see that it is not quite a small piece at all. It's about the size of a base of a snow globe. Once he's like fully unveiled the flesh from around it, uh, he pulls this, or this thing is pulled out, and finally, when Harlan's done, he places this bloody, silvery, what looks like like I said, a small diorama or a statue onto the table. There it is. Magnetic core that was left inside of you. One piece of it, anyway.
Fascinating. There is multiple?
There's a few of them, but this is the biggest. When Northside Star makes a cut, it makes an impression just like that. Those pieces are inside of your body, whether you know it or not. That magnetism, then, is you being pulled by the scene. Like I said before, since this is the biggest piece, the smaller pieces probably won't cause you as much pain, maybe even any. Do you want to keep this as a souvenir?
I may have use of it. Do not. Perhaps I recover before attempting this a second time.
I don't think it's a good idea to go after the smaller ones.
No.
He starts to wash his hands off in a basin of water. No, you almost died just now when I pulled that one out. I don't know if Detective De La Cruz could tell. He probably could, which is why he insisted on interrupting. These things manage to make their way into your very core. Even a merman will die from it. Trust me, I've seen it happen. They try to pull it out with their bare hands and they end up dying before it even gets halfway out. You're lucky, I guess.
I feel very lucky. Let me just recover a moment, and then I will see, when I wake up, what I can do with that to assist this mission.
Good. Business minded. You can probably get the other pieces out at some point, but I wouldn't do it without, I don't know, killing the sword user first. Lowers the chances that it'll be fatal. Who knows? Maybe when he dies, the pieces will just crumble away.
Is that the hope for you?
Could be. Hell, samurai don't tend to leave much of an impression after they're dead. Unlike a stand user, so I doubt it's an effect that'll last after his own demise. We're just dust in the wind like that. I really shouldn't have had this wine. Nah, who am I kidding?
And I thank you for your resistance. Besides, I do not think you are very forgettable.
You don't even know what my face looks like.
Would you show me?
Maybe you'll see it at my funeral if I get one. De La Cruz, I assume you'll just help clean up here, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I can do that.
That stand of yours, it lets you see things, right? Through walls, through the flesh.
Yeah?
It's useful. Too bad I can't just steal it from you. Hold on to it, though. Might save your life one day if it hasn't already.
Oh, yeah, I will.
All of you AQUA unit people have stands, then.
Yeah.
Even the weird little guy in the closet.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't last time we talked to him, anyway.
The large whale man does.
KLP has a stand.
Yes, it produces tickets.
Oh, world just keeps getting worse and worse every day.
Although I am in much pain, I think it is getting better.
Once we arrive, we probably won't be seeing much of one another. So, in a way, this is my parting gift.
You will disappear.
It's something of a trademark, don't you think?
You are often doing it.
I'll be here and there, but you won't see much of me. By design. Just remember the promise. And we'll consider it even on the surgery.
Forgive me, I am in much pain. No, I remember. Jolie.
It's Joni.
Yes. Please keep in mind I am in many pieces.
Not an excuse. He puts the scalpel down on the table. Here's your tool back. As I said before, I don't recommend trying to duel any samurai with that thing, but it works.
I may still attempt.
You know, I was going to make a dramatic exit, but I realized that this is my cabin. I could still. He just starts walking for the door.
Stuck with glue.
He just opens the door on his own.
I cannot.
No, don't bother. Just fuck up my last goodbye. Thanks, De La Cruz. He just slowly closes the door while his mask is staring at you. I'll remember that.
I didn't mean for that to happen.
A very light click, and he has departed to leave you and Mikey there.
Hello. I think I will be sleeping here tonight.
Okay. I mean, you're kind of putting yourself back together. Do you need like a tank or something?
Yes. But there is no seawater. No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I can put some salt in some water. Look, we're not staying at the Ritz.
The only thing I could ask of you is quite embarrassing, so if you are just to leave me be, I will recover by morning.
I mean, what is it?
I am hungry.
Oh, okay. I hope you're okay with being vegetarian.
I do not think I could.
No, it'll be
blood is like toxic, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, I would say, yeah, it's toxic to people. I don't know. I mean, I feel like other merfolk,
it's probably toxic to them too.
Yeah, perhaps simply close the door and goop it up so that no one will find me in my weakened state, being we are on a boat full of demons.
Oh yeah, easy enough. Let me hang on.
Mikey will go like to the bar and try and find like a tank, like a bucket, anything to try and put Ice Peak in.
Yeah, there's probably like an ice bucket you could put, like, find, I'm sure.
You'll need
Yeah,
a couple of those.
Yeah. Then he'll bring some in and just start filling it with like, if there's like a sink in there, just filling it with water. He probably also like grabbed a thing of salt and is just pouring it all in.
All right, with your makeshift ice bucket and salt, I guess you have like a very rudimentary recovery pot or bucket for Ice Peak.
Yeah, he'll I guess if there's if there's parts of her that are just around that aren't dead, he'll just kind of start putting them in the bucket.
All right, then you will Ice Peak. You can recover obviously, and by the time we have our next session, you can even wipe off the stress and mild consequence that you incurred. Although the scar from the surgery will remain. That part is hard to get rid of, and there are, like Harlan said, still other metal shards within you. That one on the table is the biggest. It's about the weight of a. Gee, I'm trying to think. It feels like it's about 2 pounds, 2 or 3 pounds of just jagged metal. Because while it is like a sort of accurate cutout of your that scene when you were cut as a child, like the shards of at the top, it's almost like it's 3D printed in a way. It's the metal is aligned in sort of like these big lines and kind of like almost geometric type fragments on certain parts, like details, sort of like pixels a little, or like bismuth, or other magnetic type, like just metal stuff. Yeah, it's just really what Harlan said is true. Also, if you look at this thing, you can tell it's composed of other metals. So it may have started out as just like one shard and then drew in other metal to it until it becomes a really horrible wound that, good luck removing it. But that is you are now free of that part. Blue still has metal fragments in her. Good luck removing. Harlan shows up in Blue's room with the scalpel covered in blood. Surgery.
Come here.
Don't fight me. I'm gonna take that metal out of you.
Oh, Phil!
Give me your metal snow gun.
Stop screaming!
Oh no.
Starting a collection.
Why are you being so weird?
Don't make this awkward.
How did you know?
But that's where we'll cut off with Ice Peak in recovery. Nicholas Pine has woken up and is now drinking another small bottle of alcohol, unless somebody stops him, because he is a little shit.
Will anyone stop him?
Will anyone stop Nicholas Pine from
Will anyone
drinking?
stop this boy?
This boy from drinking? It's probably like really low proof alcohol too. It's like some kind of like that kindergarten beer the Germans give to kids. Leroy is standing at the head of the boat, and Alsatia is standing behind and beside him with her sheet flowing in the wind as the ship begins to approach clear skies and open blue waters compared to the black before. The blue of a sunrise far, far in the distance, and the emerging landline of a coast. And far, far in the distance of that, a man and a woman holding hands and running freely through the sand and the wave. Both of them holding their shoes, both of them very much in love. And Leroy sees it and he smiles, because weddings are such a good time for the Cotton-Eyed Joe. And that is where we will call it. Very short, but yes, Ice Peak is free of her curse, not really. I mean, you'll still be able to feel resonance with Don Reyes, but for now, you won't feel as much physical pain from being near his blade.
We've obtained one snow orb of plane.
Yes.
Good.
I mean, it is still magnetically attracted to his blade.
Useful?
It won't be as painful.
Won't be as painful. So, between now and next week, what Leroy was talking about is kind of how it's going to break down for some of the sessions. Basically, you'll all be teamed up with one of the disciples, and you will get a target, and then we will like kind of